Hey there F-Stoppers, and welcome to another episode of the Post-Production Tutorials. In the first installment of this series, we dealt with creating a faux cross-process look as our base color palette. Today, we will add some light leaks using the curves adjustment layers. Technically, light leaks occur when gaps or holes are present in a normally light-tight camera body, allowing for extra light to overexpose portions of the film plane. Now this isn't something you would experience with most cameras, but with something like a Holga, which is a cheaply manufactured plastic toy camera, these defects happen quite frequently. Now instead of spending the money on film and developing, we can use Photoshop to introduce our own light leaks digitally. To begin, simply add a curves adjustment layer over your image. Click and drag the midpoint of the curve until the image is heavily overexposed. Yes, the highlights will be blown to smithereens, but that is the effect we are going for. Within the curves dialog, there is a pull-down menu for the RGB channels. We will be adjusting each RGB channel independently. Starting with the red channel, click on the midpoint of the curve and pull up until the image takes on a very pinkish hue. Next, select the green channel. Click on a midpoint and pull the curve down until you get an intense magenta color. Finally, on the blue channel, pull the midpoint down until you get a burnt orange color. Now you don't have to do this the exact same way. In fact, you can make your light leaks whatever color you want to achieve your desired effect. Invert the layer mask by hitting Command-I on your keyboard. For PC users, the shortcut is Control-I. Hit B to switch to the brush tool, and using a large, soft brush at a low opacity, paint over the image where you want your light leaks to appear. Normally you would see light leaks around the edges of the photograph, but again, you can add light leaks anywhere you want to. You want to gradually build up your strokes to get some nice gradations and feathered edges. Once you're finished, knock down the opacity of the curves layer to taste. Now, I love dimension in a photograph, and I like to add a few different layers of light leaks to give it some depth. Just as we did before, add another curves layer mask and tweak the RGB channels to your liking. You can use the same brush, or you could experiment a little bit. This time I'll use a gradient tool to add sharper edge light leaks. We could stop there, but I think I'll add one last layer of light leaks in a slightly different color to give it some highlights and lowlights. Again, don't forget to play with the layer opacity to taste. feel that your brush strokes are too defined or have too much of a hard edge, you can always run a high pixel Gaussian blur to feather out the mask. In the next episode, we will continue working on this image to further give it that vintage feel. Thanks for watching, and if you like these tutorials, be sure to subscribe to the Fstoppers PPT YouTube channel by visiting youtube.com/user/Fstoppersppt. As always, you can find me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and keep up with me on my blog. I also teach workshops, and you can check upcoming events on prep2post.com. Thanks again, and stay tuned for the next Fstoppers post-production tutorial.